Okay, look, listen, I know that the title of this video may seem a little weird, but trust me, okay, I'll bet money that Zatanna will be winning DCKO. And, you know, I do have a lot of pieces of evidence that will support my claim. So I made a video a little bit ago, let me pull it up. It was a video titled 2025 will be the year of Zatanna. And what I said in that video was that she was having an increased involvement in many DC events, such as, you know, Absolute Power, Dark Crisis, Dark Knight's Metal, and this is not an event, but the Justice League Dark as well. She wasn't really involved in many events before that point, you know. Obviously, I don't read every single comic, so maybe she did. But in general, her appearance rate was, and still is, increasing as of the late 2010s and early 2020s. And this could be also seen in many adaptations, you know. Despite not having any major or, I guess, significant roles in any live-action project, she does strangely have a lot of appearances in a lot of animated medium. I guess because her magical powers are easier to portray in animated form rather than in live action. But it has been done, but you know. But Zatanna has appeared in shows like DC Superhero Girls, Justice League Action, she was in that, among several other animated projects. So you're seeing this pattern of her character being involved more and more in comics, or in adaptations even. So I'm seeing that as that is a push from DC editorial, I guess, to just have Zatanna be more included in the DC mythos, make her like a staple character basically. And what better way to do this than to cement her in DC history as a person to defeat this Omega Darkseid, or whatever he's called. I'm not too sure what he's called. Omega Side? I don't know. But that's not even the end of it. She had her own limited series this year, Zatanna, just called Zatanna. We saw her go against new character Lady White and Brother Knight. Not a new character. She had a DC Black Label series last year, Zatanna Bring Down the House, which was surprisingly good, despite being written by Marco Tamaki. Admittedly, going back and looking at the book, it wasn't like amazing or anything, but it was definitely better than I thought it would be, and it was pretty enjoyable. So you're seeing all these different avenues of her getting involved in more things. And also, even again this year, spoiler alert for a ongoing series that's still ongoing, 2025, spoilers, she is in Absolute Wonder Woman, or she was in Absolute Wonder Woman number 12. You know, I got spoiled for that, unfortunately, but she is in the Absolute Universe, and I'm guessing she'll be playing a major part, given the fact that she had her first appearance in the last issue of Wonder Woman's As My Mother Made Me arc, which would probably suggest that she's going to have a major involvement in the subsequent arc, which might have something to do with the Absolute Batman crossover, you know, maybe, I don't know. Zatanna also had the 2025 DC Halloween special named after her, despite her only having one story, you know. It was centered around magic, that's why it's called Satanic Panic, but for a Zatanna named DC Halloween special, you'd expect her to be included more, but she wasn't. It's fine, she was there, it's fine. For these next few points, I'm going to have to ask you to suspend your belief just a little bit. Probably when I tell you all these things, you're not even going to have to. By themselves, the points are like, okay, whatever. But when you put them all together, it's really, really interesting when you look at them all together. First, you know, as we're still on the topic of the Halloween special, all the characters that were in each of these stories reappeared in DCKO number 1. Now, you know, obviously, you know, popular DC characters are in the popular DC event, you know, but it really gets really strange at some points. Skartaris, I don't know how you pronounce it, that was the location of one of the stories in the special. And surprise, surprise, Skartaris was mentioned in DCKO. The special was also my first introduction to Skartaris, so its inclusion in DCKO seems a little specific. Zatanna was in the special in DCKO, one of the contestants. So was Etrigan the Demon, Ambush Bug, surprisingly. Obviously Batman and Superman was in it. But characters like Raven, she was the head of one of the stories. Now, I don't think she's explicitly in DCKO, but the Titans have a play in the story. You know, they're the ones who are going to evacuate the Earth. Cyborg's in the roster too. Swamp Thing, who's in it too, is in the roster. Constantine was in it. He's not in the contest, but he had a cameo in DCKO when Darkseid was attacking the Rock of Eternity. You could see him, you know, doing this thing. I think that is it. But you're seeing all these characters, like Ambush Bug, like, are you serious? Ambush Bug? At that point, that cannot be a coincidence. Skartaris, that cannot be a coincidence. Like, there's no way. All these different things that are in the special are then in DCKO. I feel like that is intentional. Like, it has to be. Now, also, this is very, very, very interesting. You might be like, okay, whatever. But look at the cover for the Zatanna vs. Harley Quinn DCKO cover that's coming out in December. Look at the way Zatanna's magic is going. Does that shape look familiar? Because if it does, that is the exact same shape as Darkseid's Omega Beams. I mean, I feel like that's gotta be something. That's gotta be something, you know? There was one more point. In DCKO number 1, there's this panel where Superman is talking to the Justice League about, you know, the contest and how he doesn't really agree with it. And there's one panel. It was very, very, very weird. It showed Superman talking. You could see his reflection in like the glass of the watchtower, and for some reason the artist actually made the text box inverted like a reflection would be. The text isn't really aligned like how Zatanna's backward speak is aligned in like the lettering, but I feel I've never seen something like that done before. I've never seen that before. Maybe it has happened before, but think about it. Why would the text box be reflected in the image if it's not like a real tangible thing in the universe? Maybe it's just like an artistic decision, you know, means nothing. But I feel like, in conjunction with all the other points, I feel like it has to mean something. I feel like it has to mean something. So maybe this is DC editorial's way of kind of foreshadowing Zatanna's eventual transcendence into King Omega, and the universe is already bending to her will. This is gonna be a crazy coincidence if it's just random. It's crazy coincidence, but I just feel like all these little different things have to amount to something. And that something, you know, Zatanna winning and becoming King Omega, or Queen Omega, I guess. Maybe, I guess we'll see. If not Zatanna becoming King Omega, something else. Definitely something else. Like come on, it's like, it's right there. Like, everything is just so specific. Like, there's all these different things that are pointing in the direction to Zatanna. And I feel like it has to mean something. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a like. If you disliked the video, make sure to give it a big fat dislike. And I'll see you in the next one. You've been watching Lowhand. I've been Lowhand, and just say you're down.
What are you wearing?
It was supposed to be the Halloween video, okay?